You're listening to The Manning Report with your host, James David Manning. The news behind the headlines.
Let's listen to Gerald Nadler, who is a congressman from New York, who was able to get his judicial committee to vote yesterday along party lines that a subpoena be issued to Bill Barr for all the report complete. And by the way, this should not be any big deal because the Judiciary Committee has the right to see top secret information. They've been cleared to see top secret information. So there's nothing in the report that would be regarding, ongoing investigations, top secret information, that the Judicial Committee would not be privileged to see. Not to mention the fact that they would not expose it to the public, but they ought to be able to see it. So Mueller does not need to redact anything when it comes to the committee, of the Intelligence Committee with Adam Schiff, or with the Judicial Committee with Gerald Nadler. But Barr wants to hide it, and he believes, like his criminal president, that he can actually hide this from the American people. I think we have a bit of a clip. This engineer, clip number one. Roll that with Nadler's making some statements regarding his review of this whole process.
We're going to work with the Attorney General and for a short period of time, in the hope that he will reveal to us the entire Mueller report and all the underlying materials, and we'll go to court to get permission to have the 6E material. But if that doesn't work out, in a very short order, we will issue the subpoenas.
What does that mean, in a very short order? I mean, you're willing to do that as soon as this week to serve the Justice Department with subpoenas?
A very short order. Beyond, I can't say how many days.
Are you willing to negotiate any middle ground in terms of redactions of the Mueller? You're not.
No. The committee must see everything, as was done in every prior instance. Obviously, some material will have to be redacted before it's released to the public to protect privacy, to protect the various rights. But the committee is entitled and must see all the material and make judgments as to what can be redacted for the public release by ourselves. We handle confidential material all the time. We have facilities to do that. We make those judgments. And we're not willing to let the Attorney General, who after all is a political appointee of the President, make that substitute his judgment for ours.
And rightly so. And of course, if you're on the Trump team, then you would think this is a persecution of Tribulation Trump. But the report, good or bad, ought to be at least open to the committees because it's a third branch of government. Let's say, for instance, the executive branch, which is the president and his cabinet, right? They don't want to release the information, such as what the subpoenas are going to be flying around for information from the Elijah Cummings Oversight Committee regarding clearances. They don't want to release it, right? The the articles of the Constitution gives the Congress the first part of oversight and governmental authority is Congress. Then you have the executive branch, and then you have the judicial branch. We have these three branches of government: the executive, the congressional, and the judicial branch. And if the executive and the congressional branch of government cannot agree on something, the matter is then taken to the judicial branch, which is the Supreme Court, and they make the decision as to how, and that's how it goes. It's been going that way since the days of Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin, right? But the issues here now is that obviously there's some very damning information in this report, and Trump does not want not even the Intelligence Committee of the Judicial Committees of the elected bodies of government to participate. In other words, what the Trump administration is trying to do is trying to deny the congressional branch its constitutional right to see all reports. That's written in the Constitution. They have the constitutional right. Now, the public doesn't have the constitutional right to see all reports because some information could be, secretive information, or could be intelligence information, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the public does not have. But the Congress, the Constitution defends. Just like in our previous segment where we said the Constitution, the IRS statutes, laws of the IRS Commission says that the House Ways and Means Committee has the right, without question, to look at any president's tax returns. And what the Trump administration is trying to do is that they're trying to rewrite the Constitution and abdicate the laws. And we understand why, because they got a lot to hide. You know, I don't need to muddy the waters here, but I will. Trump is an illegal president. I believe that Mueller was able to discover, hands down, even without Paul Manafort's support or Rick Gates, that Trump colluded and that the information of Trump dealing with Russia is dirtier and lower than a snake's belt buckle. And I think that Putin has got a sword over Trump's head and has got him by the keisters in three major ways. One is that Trump is a degenerate, so Putin has got sexual information on Trump that would make the porn industry toes curl. That's number one. Also, he's got financial information of Trump dealing with Deutsche Bank for years and Trump money laundering, selling apartments and condos to Russian oligarchs for years at 10 times the market rate of a condo or building here in America, which is simply money laundering, is what Trump was doing, and backfiring that money back into the Russian government. That's number two. But number three is that Trump is without any kind of commitment to the American ideal, to the Republic for America, for which it stands, to the democracy that we all believe in, and to the great nation that America has become. And that Mueller has been able to discover that we have been duped, that we have been defeated, that one of our own sold us out. But that information is the kind of information that even Mueller does not want the public to know. Because then, actually, that being the case, the Trump presidency would have to be null and void. The same thing happened, and that's why they're still fighting for Obama. And this is where I said I didn't have to muddy the waters. But Obama's presidency was illegal as well. It was an illegal presidency. It was the work of the devil, to be sure, absolutely, an illegal presidency. But rather, they rallied to Obama, they defended him, the media came to defend him, and now they're doing the same thing with Trump, because effectively, they'd have to null and void his presidency, giving Hillary the presidency. That they don't want to do. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.